Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Tina from Tinaheals.com, and this video is about the moon. The moon through the signs, the 12 signs, and how it expresses itself, or herself may I say, because the moon is the feminine. She is associated with the Ida Nadi, and she is our feelings, how we want to nurture, how we want to be nurtured, how we will nurture in the future, our sense of identity, as in of our foundations, that is the moon, our childhood, our our day-to-day habit patterns. Because if you look at the moon, it is the only celestial body that is ever changing. There is no permanency with the moon. So the moon is associated with our emotions, the flux and shift of our emotions, and we tend to feel this quite strongly because till the age of 7 we display the characteristics of our moon sign. And even when we grow up or grow older, we tend to display those signs when we are stressed, when we are anxious. And if you really notice, the first time you start living with someone, their moon sign starts to become more evident to you than their sun sign or their MC or their ascendant. So the moon sign is a very deep yin part of us. She is a mysterious body, the moon, and without the moon there would be no life on earth. She is responsible for all the tides, that is the swelling and the ebbing of water through which humanity learned farming. Every 29 days is a new cycle for the moon, and today is actually the day of the moon. It is a Monday, and when you think about it, the moon rules Cancer. Cancer is the first water sign and is exalted in Pisces. So immediately you make the association of moon with water. And the moon controls the tides, so the ebb and flow of the tides is like the ebb and flow of human emotions. The tides of the moon are connected not only to harvest and agriculture, it is also connected to the human gestation cycle, that is pregnancy. Without the moon there would be no womb energy, there would be no pregnancy. And then you look at where the moon is exalted. And the moon is exalted in Taurus. Taurus is the womb energy. Okay? And, sorry, I said the moon was exalted in a water sign. No, that was Venus. I was thinking of Venus. So the moon is exalted in Taurus, the fixed earth sign ruled by Venus. Venus is also the feminine archetype, and Venus and moon are both associated with our love lives. So in a man, the moon is the woman he will settle down with, whereas Venus is the woman he will be attracted to. Okay, so therefore the moon sign takes on a different kind of a meaning when you look at it from the love angle. Besides, the moon is truly how we react to other people as well, not just us with our emotions, because our emotions are never isolated. Emotions arise within us because of our social community structure that we live in. You know, we input, output, input, output. So someone inputs something and we react to it. That is the moon. So the association of moon with water becomes ever so important for a human being, because we are essentially water. Okay, now water is a very mysterious substance. It can remain in 3 forms in our physical world, and it is the reason why we are here. Without water there would be no us. So the moon in your natal chart also symbolizes your fluctuating emotions. So if you know a moon in Cancer person, you'll immediately be like, yeah, that person is temperamental and moody. You know, moody with a capital M. Because they can't help it, they're imbibing the energy of the moon, and they're sort of, you know, replaying it in their day-to-day life. Now the moon is not just how we emote and how we connect, how we nurture our everyday habit patterns. It is also our imagination, the embodiment of our female mysteries. okay, of all the mysteries actually, and female more so because she is associated to the Ida Nadi, sun to the Pingala Nadi. Through the Ida and the Pingala, the prana is circulating. And when you bring them to the Sushumna, then the Kundalini rises. So the moon is really a very powerful channel of imagination in our natal chart. If you understand the moon sign, you will understand why you imagine certain things, or why you fantasize about certain things, why you're attracted to in a deep soul level with some people and with some things. Moon also speaks of our ancestors. It also speaks of our ESP, clairaudience, clairvoyance, interacting with the world of spirit, and our intuitive awareness, automatic writing, and all of that comes to us through the moon. And your moon sign really tells you how you channel that psychic energy. It's our imagination. Having a moon in Pisces, I have profound imagination. It's something that has always got me in trouble in established conventional patriarchal Saturnine systems. Because if you really look at it, the moon and Saturn are not best friends, because the moon rules Cancer and its opposition is Saturn. Because Saturn doesn't like the ebb and flow of emotions. Saturn can be detached from emotions. So immediately we see how the moon is opposite, the moon in rulership in Cancer is opposite Saturn's domain, Capricorn. Okay, moon is of course feminine. She's cold and moist. She holds our secrets. She holds our secret desires. The moon sign will also tell you all about your secret desires and your longings and your passions. Yes, Venus connects you to the through the five senses to the world around you. But the moon really makes you experience them and live those experiences in your mind, in our minds. Of course, the embodiment of the moon is the mother, queen of some sort, so maybe some prominent female figure in our life, could be our sister. All things female actually, the menstrual cycle and the womb energy, because again, Taurus exaltation, womb, Cancer, you put water and mud together and you produce that fecund clay, which is like the hotbed of all creation. Okay, and Taurus deals with agriculture and Cancer deals with nurturing. So two signs the moon loves being in. But don't think just because your moon is in exaltation in Taurus, you're going to have it all easy with emotions. No, it's not that. Of course, if you have a completely unaspected moon, but still you will always feel the emotions according to your stages of development. Look, my chart, the moon makes the most aspects. So a lot of people tend to see me through my moon sign more than my ascendant or my sun sign. So that is something to ponder on, especially if you have moon on your ascendant. So that makes it very, very potent. You are very emotional in the way you interact with the world, the way you interface with the world. Caring is such a big component, because if you really think about it, without care nothing can flourish. Okay, nothing. And I mean, just Cancerians are known to have problematic childhoods, many of them, Cancer moons. It's not because that there is a lack of emotions. Oftentimes there is misplaced emotions, or not the complete understanding of emotions. Moon in Cancer, yes, it is in rulership, can be too much of a good thing, if you know what I mean. Okay, because again, moon wants to root and nest, and cardinal energies are always about going forth, start something new. So Cancer, you will find, starts new things more than Scorpio or Pisces, which is fixed and mutable expressions of water. And now the moon operates quite differently in Scorpio, because the moon does not do well in Scorpio. It's a very, very problematic placement. So it is also our past lives. The moon, I told you, our ancestors, our past lives. It's our instinctual responses. Throughout the day, we tend to have so many instinctual responses. We see something on social media, we interact, okay, that made us happy. Maybe we saw a piece of cake and we want to indulge, or we saw something pretty and we want to go shopping, okay, or we saw some real cute relationship stuff and I want to go on a date. So moods are ever fluctuating, but we don't identify with that mood and say, okay, that is me. I was feeling that way that particular time, but that emotion is not me. That's very important to understand with the moon, because the moon is, of course, fundamentally a basic consciousness, but there is a hunger component to the moon. You know, if you really look at the symbology, the moon looks like bitten. Okay, so that means the moon is hungry. The moon is hungry for whatever house and sign the moon travels through. The moon is hungry in Aries for new things, new experiences, maybe travel. The moon is hungry in Taurus for beautiful things, wants to go shopping, wants to eat. The moon in Gemini wants to party, wants to meet people. Okay, so these are the hungry emanations of the moon, because do not forget, you know, even in my tradition, my grandfather used to say during lunar eclipses that there are hungry ghosts that wander, hungry ghosts, lunar ghosts that are hungry. So, you know, there is a hunger component to the moon, believe me. Now, it is water, or deals with water element. It's cool, it's moist, and it deals, problems with the moon will show up in phlegm imbalances, okay? Phlegm within us, you know, you can get a lot of mucus, a lot of sinus, and stuff like that. The moon also rules the breasts and the stomach. So again, you see the connection of the moon with nurturing. Even before you're born, breast milk is already produced by your mother, you know, and all you need to do is just enjoy the abundance that the universe brings to us. So the moon is that very special nurturing component. And that's why I think this new people are so into the moon sign now, because the sun sign, yes, is such an important part, but the moon sign is so mysterious, so enigmatic, because as I said, it is the embodiment of our personal mysteries. All the mysteries we can embody the moon, the lady of the night. You know, when she glows in the skies in the night, she's beautiful. Okay, pregnancy, huge connection of the moon to pregnancy, and of course gestation cycles, as I said, 9 months gestation cycles, soul ties, twin flames, soulmates, all of that you can tell from the aspects to the moon. Now let us explore moon in Aries. Okay, so we are going to run through this by understanding that the moon is cold and moist. She rules Cancer. She's exalted in Taurus. She's in fall in Scorpio, and she is in detriment in Capricorn. Scorpio is Mars' domain, and of course Capricorn is Saturn's domain. So the masculine archetypes seem to clash with the lunar energies. Okay, it's deep, it's mysterious. Think of Diana, Hecate, Kali. Reminds me of a chant. Isis, Ishtar, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna. All lunar goddesses. Okay, now let's understand Aries. What is Aries? Aries is a cardinal fire sign ruled by Mars. Moon, Mars, not really good friends. Mars is hot and it burns and it cuts. So when you put the cold and moist and feeling and sensitive and emotional moon in Aries, which is cardinal fire, the cardinal fire is like a matchstick that lights things up, you know, everything is lit. Then what can you expect? Obviously the moon will be uncomfortable there. The moon is not comfortable in Aries, and it's fire, you know. And what is the moon to do in the fire sign? It is dry. The moon is also dry, and it is hard. Okay, so the moon experiences these sides of Aries when she's placed natally in your natal chart. She experiences these hot, dry aspects of this cardinal fire that is quick fire, you know, like a matchstick. Everything about Aries is quick. The moon does not find comfort. Okay, she's not friendly to Mars in the conventional sense. Okay, so obviously the moon in Aries is going to feel restless, is going to feel like there is a tremendous amount of anxious energy. There could be a need to constantly move from relationship to relationship, not really, you know, feeling the whole process, or really trying to connect or trying to correct something. Because moon in Aries, if you feel like you're any time out of control, you flip out and you want to take back control. You do not like emotional excesses. So you know, if someone's crying on your shoulders, you do not like that. You want to shake yourself off, and you just, you know, want to continue. So in any place that is emotionally stagnating also is not a good place for moon in Aries. They don't like any situation or any home life that is stagnating. So there could be problems in your home life with moon in Aries, you know. It's after all ruled by Mars, the malefic. So there could be disturbances, fights, you know, even problems like your house burning down. Okay, and I have seen this in the charts of some of my clients. And the problem with fire, okay, because I told you, if the moon is difficultly aspected, the moon is going to bring out all the difficult parts of that sign. And with Aries is impetuousness, impatience, ruthlessness, vengeance, you know, unable to complete something, chaotic thoughts. I think with moon in Aries, there could be chaotic thoughts. It's like, I want to take back my control. Why did this person? But there is no concentration to stick to something. Because, you know, cardinal fire is not concentrated. It's a spark and then it's gone. What then? The moon still wants to connect. But very extroverted moon sign. Very extroverted, wants friends, wants new experiences. Even if the friends are not typically the sort of friends he or she is used to, they want experiences, so they'll keep going out. You know, they don't want to stay at home. So moon in Aries can become very restless, very, very, you know, low on patience, and that can be detrimental for you. Let's face it. You've got to concentrate, you've got to focus, and you've got to root, because moon in Aries lacks rooting somewhere. When you think also about Aries and Libra's polarity, you think of relationships, whereas Aries is about me. So having your moon in Aries is, it'll always be about, you know, why are these people not reacting to me the way I want them to react. It's about me. So with Libra, it's about us, you know, how can we make do with it. But in Aries, the moon is about me. You know, how am I going to feel emotionally fulfilled? I want my things. I want I want to decide on where to go. Okay? Aries is very pioneering. So moon in Aries could be very, very pioneering type of energy, where you discover new things. Okay, and you want to experience new things and bring those new things into the conscious awareness of others. Aries can be very libidinal. So secrets, moon is also secret desires. With Aries, there could be a need to dominate in bed, or really a control. So a lot of doms could come with moon in Aries, right? Moon in Aries doesn't really want to settle down with any one person, and they could be loyal. I'm not saying that, you know, Aries, but again, it's cardinal Martian energy. Cardinal is like it's scattering, it's spreading, because it wants to start new things. Thereby, Aries is always a more dicey zodiac to go through if you're really looking at a long, stable relationship. Okay? Because till a certain age, till the maturation of Mars, you do not expect an Aries to be mature in any way. They are children of the zodiac, and there is a tremendous selfishness to this Aries moon. Okay, now moving on to Taurus moon. Taurus moon is beautiful. It is those, you know, really classically, traditionally beautiful Fibonacci women, like 1.618, and manifest in all their face and their bodies and all over. Venus ruled moon, so this is fixed. So there is a fixed component here that can make the fleeting moon stubborn. Very, very stubborn and fixated. Like, okay, I know this, I'm not going to listen to you. Staunch, very traditional, very hedonistic. Because Taurus again is all about Venus experiencing the world through the five senses. So with a Taurus moon, the experiences could come in excesses of all sizes and shapes. You know, excesses of all things. You want to eat, and you really want to eat. So you eat so much that you put on weight, and the weight is never easy to lose with the Taurus moon. Even with the fluctuating moon, you may want to eat, because Taurus deals with the physical body and with food. So having the moon there, the moon is hungry. There's a hunger component to the moon. The moon is hungry for food, for security, for good things. It wants to build. Look at the archetype of Taurus. It is the archetype of the builder. So the moon is hungry to build something and root somewhere. Give people roots, you know. Find that family that they want, that perfect, beautiful family. Because Taurus can be very occupied with beauty, moon and Taurus. Sometimes it can be just for the appearances that they do a lot. But even if exalted moon in Taurus is well balanced, she likes to find things. Organic preferably, beautiful vintage clothes, vintage shoes. You know, just this is about really embodying the earthly experience that is Taurus, and recognizing the beauty in all forms. And the moon here is hungry for beauty. Hungry that people notice her classical beauty. She is very, very beautiful. Beautiful voice. Okay? Beautiful voice, because Aries rules the throat. Problems with moon will have thyroid issues. Again, thyroid links up to the weight bit. Okay? So keep that in check. And so Taurus is, of course, dry, because it is earth. So here again we see the disparity of the moon, because the moon is cold and moist. So here in the dryness of it all, maybe the moon can bring in some water element and fertilize it further. Okay, because the moon definitely fertilizes things. That's why I guess she's exalted in Taurus. Definitely one of the best moon signs to have. You are very, very occupied with the way you look. In a way, it could be very positive. A lot of travel and, you know, fashion influencers, makeup influencers on YouTube, very, very Taurus prominent, and tons of them have Taurus moons. So, you know, you can imagine that an exalted moon in Taurus would be good for emotions, right? But not always. Of course, you have to see other things in the chart, but having an exalted moon could also mean you're tuning into the lower frequency of the moon, and again I will mention the hunger component, the hungry lunar ghosts. So procuring and sometimes the need to build. When do we need to stop, and when we need to continue? That is something we need to understand with the moon in Taurus, and rage and anger and the need to control. That can be difficult with the Taurus moon, because Taurus can be very controlling. So your inherent need to control. But moon in Taurus, you love gifts. I mean, giving, receiving, but you love receiving them, don't you? I don't blame you. I do too. So it's understandable. You like the beautiful things, a nice car in the driveway, the beautiful house, and the beautiful children, of course, goes with it. Very fertile energy. Moon in Taurus, exaltation. Girls, you can get pregnant easily with this placement. I always say that moon in Taurus, Cancer and Pisces, very, very fertile moons. Okay, Pisces, I have seen with my observations, very fertile energy. So, if that's not something you want, that's something to look at, because you can get pregnant and that could create complications elsewhere. Right. Now, Venus and Moon are thankfully friendly. So that is why Moon is exalted in Venus' domain, and she's like, okay, come over, please chill out when I'm not there. This is like your home, mi casa, su casa, so, all of that. And the Moon is happy because the two feminine energies tend to get along. Now moving on to the Moon in Gemini. Moon in Gemini is probably the most problematic moon signs out there, but do not despair, because with the cons comes the pros. Don't forget that. And Gemini is a mutable sign, so it is the first air sign. It is yang, as ruled by Mercury. Okay, and Mercury is not particularly friendly to the moon. They're neutral with each other. So, okay, goes, right? And so Gemini, this is the archetype of the communicator. So Moon in Gemini is hungry for communication of any kinds, and will go to any lengths to, elicit a communication, like, let's have a conversation. This person did this, that person's husband's having an affair with that person's wife, and that person's got 4 stepchildren who are having an affair with that person's daughter. So, you get the gist, right? All this little ramblings and little gossip mongering, this could be a thing with Moon in Gemini. Not that you're a horrible gossip monger, no, it's because you have an inherent need to know. Gemini is the first air sign, and it is all about communication, right? And it's the domain of Mercury, so it's very quick moving energy, and that's something the Moon can appreciate. Yes, that's quick moving energy, like me. Every time you look at the Moon, she's in a different phase. And I love that that quote. Actually, the Moon taught me that you don't need to be whole. You can be in any phase to be whole, or something like that. It's a beauty that the Moon can be in a waxing or a waning phase, and she's forever whole. There is no need to be fulfilled. I think that is so special. So Moon in Gemini, definitely an interest in many lovers, multiple lovers, probably children by multiple people, may not really want to commit, maybe emotionally quite a mess, because again, Gemini is a realm of duality. Okay, see, Aries rules the head, Taurus rules the throat, and when you see Gemini, it rules the shoulders and the extremities. So immediately you see duality. What is the glyph of Gemini? The twins. Immediately you think of duality. All the air signs have duality within them, okay? But I think Gemini is a very, very complex sign. And Geminis are very smart, very perceptive. Moon in Gemini probably make you very perceptive. Definitely going to have a sibling, maybe an older sister, or you could be the older sister and have a younger brother. But there's something about the need to communicate with your siblings, they are so close. They are with you, they're growing up with you, they're having the same experience of your parents in the home you share. So that constant back and forth between siblings, that is a very important part of Moon in Gemini. And even if you don't have siblings, most of you do, then you're really friendly to somebody in the neighborhood, and that person's like your brother or sister. So you're having this sibling relationship no matter what, Moon in Gemini. Okay, whether you have your own brother, sister, or you have step brother and sister. Okay, that is also another thing. You can have stepchildren and step brothers and sisters as you're growing up, because this is always more people walking through your life, coming in, going, coming in, going. Of course, you have to see the house. But Moon in Gemini is like a very problematic emotional situation, because the Gemini doesn't want to concentrate on emotions, doesn't have the time. What are emotions? I have to move from A point to B point, and then C point meet D, have coffee with E. There is no end to the Gemini movement, and this movement, and the moon is about home and hearth. So this definitely means your childhood, you're moving around a lot. Could also mean your your mother and father could have been in some kind of service, government service, or even the army or navy. So you kept moving around, okay, and your habits are very changeable. The Gemini is mutable. So what is cardinal, and moon rules Cancer, which is cardinal, and moon is cold and moist, and this is again a problematic place for the moon, because because this is air, okay, and air scatters, and moon doesn't like the scattering of air. Okay, moon likes a home, comfort zone, a place to curl up, a place to open up. And Moon in Gemini always doesn't open up all the personalities in one go. No, they slowly reveal to you the personalities, and that is also something you've got to really think of with Moon in Gemini, because you don't understand what's really going on inside of them. They can be quite intense. The Gemini energy, they are according to esoteric astrology, all the signs hold the energy of Gemini, because this is communication. And what can we do without communication in this day and age? Nothing. And Moon in Gemini, you could be very good with money, because in the old days money was more gold coins or notes, but now what is money now really? Money is ones and zeros in a computer. Your money is mercurial really. So with the Moon in Gemini, you want to understand money and how it operates, and you want the good things, and you're not afraid to get them. In fact, that track, him and I think, Halsey and that GEZ, he says, I don't know what to do, I'm a crazy fucking Gemini. So the myth is out there. Kanye West is a Gemini, okay. So you see this need to self-glorify can also be there with the moon, if the moon has, ideas about grandiosity. This complete narcissism could arise with the moon in Gemini. And because the Gemini also rules the lungs and the nervous system, the moon here could make you smoke a lot, especially, you could be a chain smoker if you have moon in Gemini. You're ready to experiment with new things, of course, depending on very many things, but you may even want to try narcotics, because stuff like cocaine is a very Gemini thing, because you want to take it and you have that little bit of uptime and you want to do so many things. Okay, so it's a very outgoing energy. Definitely Gemini moon, very outgoing, extroverted energy. Does not like to stay home, does not like to do the dishes, wants to experience life, talk too many people. I mean, there's so many people out there, and the Gemini moon wants to meet all of them. Moon in Gemini, very good with your hands. Gemini extremities, rules extremities, so good with your hands. If you're writing for too long on the computer, you could have stiff shoulders. Be careful with that. Very, very good with writing, blogging, moon in Gemini, understanding of all things mercurial. And in this day and age, everything is mostly mercurial. So this is a good thing. It's not all bad. Like, I have my moon in Gemini and now I'm devastated. I don't know what to do. It's not all bad. I promise you. But you've got to know how to calm the monkey brain, which is the key thing with Gemini, because this moon, the hunger component of the moon is hungry here. It's hungry for communication. It's hungry for information. And being so hungry for information, it can separate you from true knowledge. You're so hungry for, tiny bits of information here and there, pop gossip or whatever junk. You're just consuming everything. Because there's this really important aspect of Gemini is the need to consume information almost on a pathological scale. That's happening for you. You know what to do. You can reset, always touching your heart chakra or grounding, using the correct crystals for it. Crystal work will really help you, of course. Now, moving on to rulership. The moon in rulership in Cancer. Now, Cancer is cardinal, so as a ruler of the moon, and she's cold and moist. And having your moon here does not always mean you're emotionally very sound. It could mean that you're very protective. You're very motherly for sure. In your group, you were definitely the person who mothered everybody. So you have this very nurturing, motherly, caring way about you. Make sure that you keep this in check, because if left unchecked, this can become almost maniacal and obsessive, where you are mothering your boyfriend and replacing his mom in a way. Okay? No. Moon in Cancer, you love your breasts, very beautiful, big breasts. Love breast play. Complications can arise with an aspect of moon to your breasts and to the stomach. Again, it's about what you put in. Moon is experiencing herself through nurturing in Cancer. She wants to be nurtured. She's hungry for a family here. She's hungry for foundations. She's hungry to find people to mother. So this could become a problem. I think this hunger component is why esoteric astrology says that the moon sign becomes a problem after the age of 35. Because we become so hungry for certain things that we don't know how to look beyond it. So you're hungry for a family, and sometimes you will do anything to keep that family, and if that means keeping your needs on the burner, so you will do that. Okay, but that is going to be detrimental for yourself, because you need to give yourself the same love you want to give everybody else. I think that is the lesson of Cancer. You do not need an external home. The home is within you. True connection is within you. Okay, and then the most important thing with moon in Cancer, moody, temperamental. One day to the next, you don't know how they will react. They're definitely mommy's boys if they are men. Mommy's boys, Cancer boys, and having that certain amount of freedom later on in life can also be problematic. They can forever remain the mommy's boy. And for women, this is about becoming the mommy, and again, mothering should not become smothering. That's something, that's a key thing to really look out for. Very nagging, can be very controlling, because you want to provide warmth and comfort to such a degree that if somebody refuses and you're like, to hell with it, to hell with your refusal, I will pamper you, I will nurture you. And this will obviously result in heartbreak for you, right? Because the person there is not really looking at being mothered. You cannot change anyone or mother somebody when they're already mothered. They've already got their childhood complexes that they've come to you with their baggage. They already have that baggage, you know. So that is something to think about with the moon in Cancer, because when you come with the moon in Cancer, you're definitely here to work through some ancestral karma, that you are here to, in a way, erase the past and start afresh. So there's definitely a very powerful healing component to the moon in Cancer. You want to heal yourself, you want to heal others. I think that's why the mothering part comes with it. You want to heal others. You want to provide care and comfort and love to others. So service, moon in Cancer. When you are out there working for a cause that is close to you, helping people, you'll be amazing. Working with children, very, very good for moon in Cancer. Okay, a community of sorts is where moon in Cancer can really, really operate from such a profound level. They're not selfish. They will not even think about their own needs. They will serve you. They will love you. They will, be that empathic person you need. And being around, say maybe a Gemini moon can be very difficult, or Aquarius moon can be very difficult for a Cancer moon, because they want to connect and they want to emote. And this emotional lack of emotions for their signs, this can really put Cancer off. So Taurus would be a very good partner for a moon in Cancer, moon in Taurus, because then you both will be able to create the fecund clay through which everything can grow. Okay, it's beautiful. Moon in Cancer, you're definitely very secretive about your fantasies, and you have many of them. Very psychic component, very imaginative, very compassionate again, very sweet, caring, and motherly. But the flip side of this energy is dangerous and can be very, very toxic. So that's something to look out for. If you are feeling that your energy is now reaching the hunger component of the moon, and you're always hungry for attention, hungry for the family, hungry for people to see what you've done. It's not that you want them to see what you've done and give you accolades, but you want them to notice, because we don't appreciate our moms, but we really should, because somewhere deep down, maybe our mother wants to be appreciated. I know when my daughter praises me about something, I can't contain the beautiful feeling within me. So I think even mothers want to be appreciated. Cancer deals with the stomachs of food. So a moon in Cancer person will always feed you. When you go to their house, even moon in Taurus, they'll always feed you. Moon in Cancer is a very, very fertile energy, full of possibilities for pregnancy. Again, with an afflicted moon, there could be phobias regarding pregnancy or regarding breasts, especially if in your family people have had breast cancers. Then you could be scared. I think Angelina Jolie, when she removed her breasts, is because she did not want to feel that fear, that here are my organs that can grow these tumors, so I'm going to have them removed anyway. That is also a dangerous spectrum of Cancer, when you want to control that the particular outcome to such a degree that you are willing to give away a part of your body to do that. So in its most intense emanation, Cancer can be controlling, nagging, but there is a need for Cancer to start new things that are emotionally fulfilling. They have this inherent need to do new things and meet people, although they can be very introverted. But they have this notion that they want to start new things that will fulfill them. So sometimes they will actually go out on a date and start a new relationship because they want to be emotionally fulfilled. Don't we all, you say? But you know, when Gemini moon goes out in the night, it's a different experience to a moon in Cancer going out. Moon in Cancer will not sleep with just about anybody. But the moon in Gemini is not looking for that deep connection that Cancer is thinking about. Moon in Taurus may just start planning their wedding if they like you in their minds. That's how crazy they are about their D-Day, their final day. And I bring up Taurus so much is because the moon is exalted in Taurus. So it's very interesting to always bring that particular sign up to understand why it is so, why she exalted there. Okay, now moving on to the moon in Leo. So the moon in Leo has an inherent need for theatrics. The moon in Leo has an inherent need for wanting to be the center of the stage. Okay, so when we think about the moon and its hunger component, the moon in Leo can be hungry for attention. Okay, so Leo is a sign of, you know, royalty. So the moon here obviously imbibes those qualities and can be very regal and aristocratic. Hair is a big thing to the moon in Leo because the lion must have a mane. Now Leo rules the solar plexus and the heart, so it's a very heart-centric moon. Here moon operates through the sun's domain, which is her masculine. So it is like, you know, going to your lover's home and there you are in a way happy to see his place and sorry, and experience his life, but you don't quite feel as you would in your own house, right? So that's what the moon feels in Leo. Yes, she gives a very bold, powerful character to the natal chart in which she sits in Leo. There is a sense of drama, a sense of passion, childlike innocence about moon in Leo, which is beautiful because Leo is a sign of children and, you know, artistry, creativity, passion, romance. Moon in Leo will want to romance, okay? Not just like a conquest or, you know, I want to have sex or I had sex, but Moon in Leo craves romance because she wants to connect and feel that heart-centric connection, even if it is fleeting for a while. And I'm not saying that Moon in Leo doesn't want long-term. She does, because this is a fixed sign. And this is a fixed fire, yang. So this is like the bonfire energy, which is fire contained, fire that's productive. And there is a sense of exhibitionism with the moon in Leo. You want to be observed, okay? You want to be seen, you want to be heard, you want to be known. So if you're not known, you will do whatever it takes to be known, because here you're hungry for attention, and if you don't get it, you're ready to get it in any way possible. So that's the more shadow side of a Leo moon. Otherwise, as I said, it's full of creativity, spontaneity. It's about shining, and shining with a very emotional side to the whole story. You know, you can, if you with your moon in Leo, you can be very emotionally moving, because Leo is actually very generous, very heart-centric, emotional energy. So the moon here can have this very generous, you know, you want to buy everybody a drink at the bar. You want to be very generous with the way you tip. You dress very regally, you know, you prefer golden colors, and no matter what you do, there is a flair of drama and innovation with the moon in Leo. Because you know, you are not looking at the same old, same old. If you think of royalty, they are not the same old, right? That's what makes them royalty. So they have all these set of formalities that they have to live by, the way they wave, and actually waving, the queen and her waving, she got carpal tunnel syndrome once during her tour to Africa, because she had to wave for days, and waving for days she got the carpal tunnel syndrome. So for us it looks all good that okay, she's a queen and she has this beautiful dresses and beautiful diamonds and beautiful tiaras and beautiful necklaces, and we covet them, right? But being a queen comes with a sense with its own set of responsibilities that many of us will not really accept if we were pushed to. You look at Meghan Markle. She is leaving the royalty. She's leaving London, going back home to the US. So there is a sense of they just literally left the royalty, you know, upsetting the status quo. So there is a sense of responsibility that comes with the Leo moon. And it'll always be up to you to accept it or not to accept it, okay? You're definitely going to be quite angry. You are not flaring up all the time, not so impatient like an Aries moon. But if you are pushed, if somebody starts competing with you, because Leo moons, you can be the most competitive. Now I take that back, Aries. Leo Aries, you guys are probably the most competitive moons out there. You know, you do not want to be, you want to be the best. That's it. And you're like, I'm the best. I'm royalty. And Aries is like, I'm the best. I started it all. So you see the dichotomy, but and that's cardinal fire that definitely wants to start new things. This is more contained, fixed fire when you're just glowing and providing warm, Leo. So definitely the moon in Leo is about warmth. It's about that soul connection. It's about embodying some profound, mysterious, energetic signatures. You know, moon in Leo. Leo is about illumination. Leo ultimately illuminates wherever she sits. And your moon in Leo is ultimately about illuminating the beatitude of your emotions. Right? Very nice placement if you don't become too vain, too egocentric, too me-centric, too, you know, arrogant, too brash. I think this is a very beautiful moon, and the women of Leo moon, very beautiful. The men too, very, very, you know, this feline component about them that you just want to, you know, pet them, cuddle them, and you want them to purr, right? Because all cats purr, and they actually heal themselves while they purr. So if you're a moon in Leo, go out there and get purring and opening that heart chakra. Always works. Now, moon in Virgo, industrious, hardworking, very, very meticulous. Virgo is mutable. It's very impressionable in a way. Very good with adaptability. Very good. You know, moon in Virgo can sort of come across as a snob, or someone who's standoffish or just curt or rude. But that's really not how they are. They're very, very nice people once you get to know them. They don't have all the fluff and all the bullshit and jargon, but they're the real deal, moon in Virgo, okay? What can I say? Mutable Earth, ruled by Mercury. So again, a lot to do with the thought processes. The moon is also a lot to do with the emotional thought processes. If Mercury is the IQ, the moon is the EQ. So through Virgo, the moon wants to serve. This is the archetype of service. So here the moon is very, very hungry for service and wants to serve. Literally, that's how it is. That's why Virgos can, be seen doing things behind the scenes and helping other people in communities as well as individuals, and helping them to get on their feet, or really pushing them in their lines of work. And that is a selfless Virgo, because in many ways the Virgo moon is very selfless, but it is very, very tidy, can become OCD. uh, Virgo rules the nervous system and the digestion. So having a problematic moon in Virgo could mean that you have problem with digestion. That's something. So what you eat is going to be very, very important, because otherwise, it can become toxic. And the moon also rules the stomach. The Virgo is a physical body. So moon in Virgo, you'll definitely want to do yoga, want to exercise, because otherwise you can become very worried about everything around you, worried that why is this not happening, why is that not happening, why is this delayed, why couldn't I get there, why couldn't I say that thing when I needed to. Very critical, I would say, of themselves. Very, very critical. So that is something the moon in Virgo needs to work through. This non-stop self-loathing that some Virgo moons can experience, that nobody is good enough and I'm not good enough too. Nothing is good enough. It's all right. Nothing can be perfect. That is what a Virgo moon needs to learn, that nothing can be perfect. Perfection is extremely subjective. And each day we are moving towards self-actualization. The realization that we are the divine, the spirit, in a physical body. And Virgo understands that. The Virgo moon is very keen about what food she takes in. So vegan and other forms of, healthy diets, very, very open to them. Very, very connected to the earth, and also connected to the physical body. So anything that they do in excesses can, show up for them, like puking or anything that they take and that they're not supposed to, they can ingest it out. Moon in Virgos can, throw up a lot if they are not eating correctly and exercising correctly. That's something the Virgo moon needs to look at. Virgo moon great with information, so great with maybe the coding or some kind of like mercurial office work. Accountants, great accountants, can even be great lawyers and physicians. Let's not forget there's a very healing side to Virgo. Now in Virgo, the moon can become hungry for excesses of good food, or like I will only eat that organic food from that place, or I'll have to do yoga at 4, otherwise my world will fall apart. I have to have this water in this jar that has a crystal in it. So all that can also show an obsession with, okay, I have to wear only cotton, because moon in Virgo does not like synthetic fabrics or any kind of really gaudy makeup. They like to keep it simple, not like moon in Leo. Moon in Leo is all about that glam queen makeup. Okay, but moon in Virgo is that very austere, very to the point. I just need I need a BB cream, and I may not even do my eyebrows. Just a nude lipstick and I'm done. So that is the moon in Virgo. In its essence, it wants to be holistic. Very, very holistic and very rooted to the earth, very connected, wants to recycle, and waste not, want not, I think is the motto of this moon. Very, very solid friends, very reliable people, very trustworthy people. The mutable angle is what, you know, gives it this shifty energy. But moon in Virgo is definitely a very, very good friend to have. Very good platonic energy. See you in the next video for the 6 other signs. Thank you.